Ji, thank you so much. And again, thank you for inviting me. It's a really interesting panel. और जो topic है वो भी बहुत important है. I'm sorry, my tone might be a little bit different from Saida's, but I think it's not a question of being optimistic or being hopeful. That's I think a separate issue. I think the first step in any kind of turnaround or restructuring is to really understand and accept what's gone wrong and what your challenges are. And I think we are still some way from there, unfortunately. And it's not, if our challenges were economic, they would actually be very simple to...
Students standing at the back, please could you step out? The students at the back, please step out.
If our challenges were economic, they would actually be quite easy to solve. Everyone knows, everyone sitting here on the panel, in the audience, I'm sure in the positions of power, knows what the economic issues are. Our challenges are actually socio-political, which actually makes it so much more difficult to resolve them. And until we are able to resolve those challenges, we have seen consistently, which is why we are in the whatever 20th, 21st program of the IMF, that we have not been able to make progress. So I think while we have to, and it's not that there won't be opportunities to make money here, there will be successful business people, there will be successful entrepreneurs, but that's not the point. The point is the country has to work for 230 million people, not for and the conditions that are right now, actually it's a great, incumbents will actually emerge stronger, because the others who don't have the strength will fall along the way. So we will emerge, and the incumbents.
I'm going to ask you one subsequent question before I move on to Samar Hayat Sahab. We constantly talk about this elite capture. Is stock exchange also captured by the elite, with having a complete disconnect with the masses?
That's a longer discussion, but there's no question that Pakistan has huge concentration of wealth, and that's reflected everywhere, including in the stock market. And that's one of the things that as a policy measure we keep discussing with the government, that it's not just a question of aapke laws, taxation, etc. should encourage companies to list because it helps in documentation of the economy. But also, a lot of countries have that when a company reaches a certain scale, they have to list, because otherwise it results in huge wealth concentration.
True.
So,
yes.
I
So
don't know
that's
whether
the
that
reality.
answers your question or not. So, I think that is where we are, and I hope events like these will help us recognize what is going on, because where we are and the way we progress.
So, are you hopeful?
As I said, it's not a question of being hopeful. It's a question of you have to see a plan. Someone has to say, okay, these are the steps we're going to take, and then you can say it makes sense, I'm hopeful, or we don't make sense, it's not hopeful. But right now, I don't think any of us have that clarity that how are we actually, what are our steps, what are our plans to get out of this. And it's a huge crisis. I mean, we should not deny that or try and downplay that, in my view.
Thank you. So that they don't become a baggage. Ji Farrukh Sahab, over to you.
Thank you, Ji. So like Asif, since we were contemporaries, I was also, I think, about less than a year away from getting a passport where I came back. So I believe in Pakistan. I'm optimistic about Pakistan, but I think optimism doesn't take you if you don't recognize what are your challenges. And I think our biggest challenge is that our entire industrialization over the last 50, 60 years is all domestically focused. And that's an unsustainable model that we've built up. And unless everyone here commits to exporting, which is not easy to do because of the elite capture that you referred to, because you have to deconstruct your industrial base in a way and build up an export-oriented industrial base, because everything is dependent on imports,
so
and hardly anything gets
I wish I had more time
exported
on this panel, because we've been talking about export-led growth for I don't know how many years
it doesn't
now.
Happen, but your
yes,
entire,
for decades
your
actually.
entire incentive structure is aligned the other way. So everyone, here, everything, he imports tea but sells it in the local market, etc. And that's not that's his business. But we have to have a structure, an incentive structure, policies that encourage exports. And as I said, we have to recognize, and just take a minute, I was at another panel, a very senior person, again, we keep going through this thing of hope, optimism or not. I said, I think that's the wrong question. We have to understand where we are. And he said, kitna potential hai Pakistan, and he reeled off a list of things, or we are sitting on the second largest gold and copper reserves in the world, etc., etc. And I said, I think respect, the question is not that we are sitting on these gold reserves, the question is कि 75 साल से हम बैठे हुए उनके ऊपर अभी तक ज़मीन पर हैं, तो we need to answer that question, कि why is it that in 75 years we have not been able to take those out and earn tens of billions of dollars by now for the enrichment of the entire country. तो कुछ
मुश्किल सवालों के जवाब बिजनेस कम्युनिटी को भी देने, आप ऐसा समझते?
जी,
कुछ बहुत मुश्किल सवालों के जवाब आप लोगों को भी देने हैं ना?
नहीं, एंड आपने जो सवाल पूछा था बिल्कुल सही था. The business community, I believe, has the largest stake in any country, and it is unfortunately extremely divided. If it was together and really exerted its influence, it would make a difference, and we see that in every country in the world. But even our business and trade organizations over the decades have not really played the role that they needed to have played